Talley.
Here.
Bill Freeman.
Here.
Simone Kenny. Roy Seeger. Lisa Davina is excused. Jonathan Lord. Amit Tabassian.
Here.
Daniel Nicholas. Trevor Martin. Joshua Steele. Lee Yvette. Shane Corbin.
Here.
Joe Ruiz.
Here.
Noel Eaton.
Here.
Jose Papa.
Here.
Mark Parrett.
Here.
Patty Rippey.
Here.
Tim Berman.
Here.
Becky Whitty.
Here.
Omar Atala. Ralph Hessler.
Here.
James Roberts is excused. Kaya Powell. Here. It's a goal quorum.
Okay, can you join me for a pledge of allegiance? Pledge allegiance.
United States of America.
And to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And can we have a motion to allow for virtual attendance?
Make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Do we have any public comment or public participation?
I'd like to recognize two people in the audience. We have interns here for the city of Deltona. Why don't you two stand up, tell us your name and where you're in, what school you're involved in. And the reason they came is they said, find a place that has more nerds than Comic-Con. And I said, I had a meeting for you. Go ahead, Janelle.
Please can come up.
As you know, interning at the city hall and the planning department, and it's really interesting. I'm going to be taking classes at Daytona State and then transferring from there. And
Hi, my name is Esme Zario, interning for planning as well from Deltona Christian, and I'm really liking it.
Welcome.
thank you.
All right, we're going to move to item 3, our action items. Review and approval of the May 19th TCC minutes. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And then item 3B, review and recommend approval of a resolution adopting the 2026, 27 to 2030, 31 transportation improvement program.
So at last month's meeting, we were talking about the development of our TIP. And as you may recall, the TIP is the 5-year programming of projects in both Volusia and Flagler County that utilizes state and federal funds. So it's all projects, not just the ones that come through the TPO, but it also includes aviation projects, landscaping projects, maintenance projects, as well as the capacity projects and the member projects such as the bike ped and traffic operations. So all of the projects over the next 5 years are developed into our document, the TIP. The TIP is created based on the tentative work program that was developed by FDOT last fall. DOT did come and make a presentation to our committees and board, and I believe it was in November. And so once they make that presentation, they have their own public hearing process that they go through. They submit then that plan then up to Tallahassee. Once it goes through there, that is the data that we use to develop our TIP. So these are projects that you have seen over the last year. They do come from our plans and our studies, as well as other projects that are outside of the TPO. The TIP is currently open for public review period, which does end on June 22nd. The board will take action at their meeting next week on June 24th. Once the TIP is adopted, then we do submit the final TIP to FDOT. And then in August, September, we work with them to start this process all over again. So the TIP is available online. If there's any questions or comments, I'd be happy to address those. Otherwise, we look for a recommendation for approval.
Move to approve. Second.
And can we please have a roll call vote?
Adrian Calderon. Brian Woodward.
Yes.
Stephen Bath.
Yep.
Griff Parsons.
Yes.
Matthew West.
Yes.
Lillian Lavalley.
Yes.
Bill Freeman.
Yes.
Hamid Tabassian,
Yes.
Joshua Steele,
Yes.
Shane Corbin,
Yes.
Joe Ruiz,
Yes.
Noel Eden,
Yes.
Jose Papa,
Yes.
Mark Curran,
Yes.
Patty Rippey,
Yes.
Tim Berman,
Yes.
Becky Whitty,
Yes.
Terrell Kessler.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimously.
Item 3C, the review and recommend approval of a resolution adopting the Volusia-Flagler TPO 2026 list of prioritized projects.
So again, last month, we did talk about the development of, or the update to our list of priority projects. So this is a list that we update every year. And these are the projects that we have influence on in terms of funding. It really is a series of 8 lists. And in your agenda packet, there is a description of the changes that occurred from the current adopted list to the proposed list. So what this identifies is new projects that were added as a result of the call for project cycle that we had. Any updates or changes to the list based on projects being completed or projects that were withdrawn from the list by the project sponsors, as well as updates to funding and the cost estimates. So we did present the list last month, and they are out for public review as well, which does close along with the tip on June 22nd. And then our board will take action next week at their meeting on June 24th. Once this list is adopted, then we do transmit that to the Florida Department of Transportation at the district level for their use in developing the tentative work program this fall, which will then feed into our tip next year. So we do have a couple of comments that we've received or some edits. Most of them are pertaining to updated cost estimates. So there were some areas where we've made sure that the costs match the tip, or if there's additional cost estimates that we didn't receive with the project applications, we're able to incorporate those in. I did receive the cost estimates for your signal project, so all of those will be incorporated into the list that is presented to the board next week for their adoption. There were no changes to the priorities of the projects. It's really just kind of the minor detail or the details within each project, mainly pertaining to the cost moving forward. The CIS projects and the regionally significant non-CIS projects, those projects and the priorities of those were determined by our long-range transportation plan, which we adopted last September. So the lists are just updated just to make sure that they reflect the priorities that were established there. The changes on the traffic operations and the bike ped projects, that's where you see the most, because that's where every year we get new project applications that come in for the call for projects. But if there's any questions or comments, or if you've taken a look at the list specifically for your projects, just make sure that we have the limits correct, the cost estimates correct, before we present this to the board for approval. If there's any questions or comments, I'd be happy to address those. Otherwise, we'd be looking for a motion to recommend approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 3D, cancellation of the July 21st, 2026 TCC meeting. Motion.
Motion to approve. So move.
So,
Second.
Adrian. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? And then we have item 4, presentation discussion. 4A is presentation discussion of service changes to VoTran and VoRide.
Good afternoon, everyone. For the record, Ralph Hessler, Transit Planning Manager, Volusia County Transit. So this is a very brief presentation about upcoming service changes. This is something we typically do, maybe not as a formal thing like this. Sometimes it's a little bit more minor if we have small service changes. But the intent here is to, one, let everybody know. Also, through your avenues of contact, there may be people in your areas, someone that you know that might be affected by this. And we'd like to present this to you as well so you can get the word out. Plus, as part of the public outreach, which we'll talk about in a little bit, well, so next slide. So the major service changes that are happening will be our Sunday services in Daytona Beach area, our routes 3, 4, and 11, and some minor service adjustments that are connected with that. On the west side, our Route 33 in Deltona, and then also on the east side, the beach side, is our current only night service, which is Route 70. Now, these changes will happen in 2 phases. The first phase will be this coming June 28th. The second phase will be at an undetermined date in October. Next slide. So the Sunday service currently operates just on the east side of the county here. It operates from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. each Sunday. It will transition to our Boat Ride service. If you're not familiar with that, with what that is, that's our on-demand service. We call it Boat Ride. It's been successfully operating on the west side for over 2 years already. We have implemented it earlier this year in some areas here on the east side, so that will expand to cover the Sunday service. 3 of the major routes that currently operate on Sundays will continue to operate as an assistance to those, and there'll be 2 on the beach side and 1 on ISB. Those changes are planned to happen in October. Next. The routes 3, 4, and 11 currently operate at every 30-minute headways. Those will change to every 60 minutes. The reason that is happening is that FDOT who funds the 30-minute service on those corridors will no longer fund those. We've been notified, not only us, in other places in the state as well. So, and the county will not fund those. So those will go from 30-minute service to 60-minute service. And there's another route, the Route 15 will also change because it is connected with the Route 4. I don't need to get into it now. The interlines, right? The Route 4 becomes a 15, it goes back to 4. They waffle back and forth. But because the 4 is changing, the 15 has to change with it. So 4 routes will be affected. And that will happen on June 28th. So on the west side, the Route 33, which is the only route currently operating in the Deltona area, has very, very low ridership for a variety of reasons. That will change to Boat Ride. Part of that route earlier this year already changed to Boat Ride, so now we'll make the rest of the route, that service area as Boat Ride. And that will also happen at some point in October or a little bit thereafter. And also in October, the Route 70, the last night service that we have, which only operates on the beach side primarily, does come over the bridge on Granada into the Ormond area a little bit, and it does come over the bridge on Dunlawton into Port Orange a little bit. That will also change to Boat Ride. All of the other night service previously was changed to Boat Ride. This will be the last one. That is also scheduled for October. So, next slide. So the process, right? So the public outreach process, we have press releases. We've been putting them out there quite a bit. Maybe you've seen them already. We have public meetings, a variety of them, of which this is one as well. We also do comment cards on the buses and our website. We have these things that are called take ones. We get on the bus. It has all the information there. On the backside, you can write your comments and we get those as well. Not all of them is favorable, as you can imagine. When you take something away from someone that they've been using for a long time, it can be very stressful, but we make sure that they get those. We also do in-person on the bus, right? We ride the buses with the affected routes, and we make sure we talk to the people, encourage them to take a comment card. We answer their questions the best that we can. We also go to major transfer points at the Transfer Plaza and some other places that we have where we can meet the people and sort of boots on the ground type of a thing. We also did the Title VI analysis, which was required to do. We did that, which assessed the pros and cons of what happens when you have these service changes. It is not only required federally, but it is a good thing for us to have, and so we know what the true effect is. And part of that process, as I said before, is the outreach, and then it'll go to the final council approval, which actually is today. So I thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, I can answer now or you can see me later. If you would like to do that. And please understand that these things sometimes are necessary. It's not always something we desire to do, but the times are the times, and that's what happens. So, thank you.
Are you increasing the number of vote ride vehicles to accommodate for that, or is it kind of?
It is the plan to put at least one more out there, but that we'll see what happens if the ridership in the current area actually increases, that we would need another one, but it is the plan to put at least one more there.
How many are out there now?
In the Deltona area, I'm going to say 7. I could be wrong. I could be off by 1. So there are 15 vans in the entire west side area, and it's split across 3 zones. So they, kind of we're in DeLand is the most ridership right now, and Deltona has kind of in the middle, and Orange City and DeBarry have the least amount, just because of how it is. Not that much activity. Other questions?
What are you finding in terms of customer satisfaction? It seems like the fixed routes are really basically disappearing little by little throughout the county.
That is true. And
So what's the satisfaction of, people prefer the boat ride or?
it's been a mixed bag. So some people initially did not prefer it, but some of it is a little bit user error, right? Some folks, they're not always, tech savvy, or they don't like to call somebody to book a ride. It works very similar to a taxi, right? You have to do it somehow. So, but as they learned how to use it, they've actually enjoyed it. Some of the feedback that we have, some you just don't know because people never respond one way or the other. And of course, there are some people that, life is, I want this fixed route because that you don't have to do anything. You walk to the bus stop, it comes every hour, every 30 minutes, whatever it is, and you go, right? And you take the same thing back. They don't really need to make any effort. That has to change. It's not necessarily by our choice, but that has to change. So that level of convenience changes for them. But I will say that if you learn how to work the system, it actually is better because if you use the Volt Ride, it's curb to curb service. I don't have to walk to the bus stop. It'll come almost to where I am. And maybe you live close to that curb there. And so it'll take you from A to B. It'll bring you pretty close to your destination. Again, you don't have to walk again. You don't have to wait out in the rain, something like that. And it'll do that return trip. So once you learn how to work it, you can actually work this to your advantage. And talking about when the night service changed, it was all covered by Road Ride. Initially, people didn't like it, but now a number of them, they do like it because it's dark outside. I don't want to wait at the bus stop. Not every area is all that great everywhere that we live, right? I don't want to wait at the bus stop. Then this vehicle is going to take me pretty close to my house. So that's not a bad thing at all, if you look at the big picture. But not everything is for everybody, and I understand.
And does Vote Ride go out of the county, like thinking of DeBarry, so you can't go to Sanford from DeBarry?
Transit service didn't go out of the county either. So wherever the transit service went, the Vote Ride goes. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, everyone. Go ahead and get started with some upcoming projects. These 2 projects are starting in July. On the left, we have Nova Road from Plymouth Street to US 1. That's going to be a milling and resurfacing project, as well as safety improvements and some signal upgrades. And that is expected to start in July. And then the estimated completion for that is late 2027. On the right side, we have US 1 from south of State Road 400 to north of Fairview Avenue. This is a resurfacing and safety improvement project, again, expected to start in July and be completed the fall of 2027. Then great news, our second lane of the Kepler roundabout is open as of yesterday. So that project is officially done. And there is a really great aerial shot of this. I didn't have it when I sent this out, but if you're interested, go ahead and look. I think there's an email sent out to everybody that shows the aerial shots and explains the project. So we're really excited to have that second lane open. I talked with our ops team and they said it's been going smoothly so far. They were there overnight when it opened and we're excited that that second lane is open. June 1st marks the beginning of hurricane season. And I have a short video for you because as Floridians, we are very familiar with hurricanes. And we, as FDOT, we become a well-oiled machine when it comes to our emergency response efforts. So if you watch this quick video, we'll show some of those efforts.
Happens for hurricane slamming for the southwest coast this afternoon and making landfall right near Fort Myers.
Causeway.
Our assets, our bridges, our team members, our equipment. We do plan to have all of our resources, heavy equipment and contractors staged north and south of the point. We will be pushing in with full force to clear roads, inspect bridges, assess them, and begin repairs as quickly as we possibly can. Every minute that a road or bridge is down after a storm comes through can hinder the life safety mission.
FDOT does take a proactive approach to plan and stays prepared year-round. We're able to quickly and efficiently respond to some of the most challenging storm impacts. These preparations directly contribute to our ability to serve Florida's communities and help them recover, as seen with our remarkable achievements in the last few years. Another reminder, I did bring it up last month, but also wanted to share with you, it is the 100 deadliest days of summer, or just the 100 deadliest days. And that goes from Memorial Day to Labor Day, specifically around teens. They're out of school, they're going to the beach. So if you have any teens in your life or interact with any teen drivers, please make sure you remind them to drive safely and carefully and take the right course of action when you're driving. And then I leave you on one last note. This is my last week with the department. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody. I have received a really great opportunity that I couldn't say no to, but I got a really great supportive team coming behind me. Either Chuck Coppenol or John Scarf will be here with you all. They're awesome guys and help you and get your answers and work with you until there's another liaison. Appreciate you all. I will be here afterwards to either give you a resource or start answering any of your questions if I don't have the answer. Happy to do that. Thank you.
All right, and 4C, Volusia County and Flagler County construction reports are in your packet. I don't want to speak on those or do you want to talk about?
If there is any question,
questions?
yeah, I'll be glad to answer. It's for your info.
Questions? And staff comments?
I don't really have anything, but I did want to thank Kaya for all of her help over the last couple of years. She's really made an impact here in Volusia-Flagler, and especially with all the changes that we had. I know, moving, changing our name. There's all these little nuances with that. So anytime I had a question, she was always available. So I know she's here answering your questions, but she also does provide a great deal of support to me as well as the staff here at the TPO. So we want to say thank you. We'll miss you, but best of luck.
All right, and do we have any TCC member comments?
I would also say that, enjoyed working with Kaya every time emailed or called, she was there. And on your roundabout, TPO send pictures and saw the aerial. It really looks neat. I was wondering if anybody knows how many vehicles during peak time go through that two-lane roundabout, but it was different than the ones that I had seen that had multiple right turn, that was there. So
I don't know if they have that number yet. Yeah, they're still getting it up going, but if that number comes out.
Sure, it's a large number. All right, and information items in your packet, you have your attendance records, meeting summary, upcoming events, and outreach activities. And just a reminder that the next meeting is August 18th. Do anything else? Motion to adjourn?